Long day lay me low. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode, another on-time episode. Actually, we're late. It's my fault. I was helping Mother. So yeah, but welcome everybody. Determined to get great campaigns funded, amazing art, amazing stories, amazing people. Trying to get out there these indie books into your hands. Before we get started, as usual, we got the lovely and great Angela Curry. What's going on, Angela?
Not much. Crack that open. I heard like
Crack-a-lacka?
man, was it
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it was me.
Delicious.
What, you
Anyway,
weren't watching?
No, I was multitasking.
It's always good when your co-host who reads the chat isn't watching anything. Nice. That's the joke. We got a great one today, Angela. We got a great one. I've known this cat pretty much ever since I came into CG and the crowdfunding scene. He's been a good friend and has helped me out throughout the years. And he's got great stuff. And he's a great artist. He's a great dude. We got the great VINNIE Tartamella.
What's up, guys?
What's going
on? Vinny.
Hello, Angela. Hello, Jason. And thanks, man. Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
A few days. Ever since pretty much almost ever since I came into the scene. I've known. I honestly think Through the Woods was one of the. I know it was one of the first like 5. I'll say because I'm not 100% what was the very first one. It might have been the very first campaign I backed. So. Nice. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but I know it was definitely in the top, like, first few that I definitely backed. So, yeah. And it was a, great story, great art, and I know that was you and Frankie.
Yeah.
So, that's very cool, man.
Let's look at it here. I mean, I know with the green screen thing, it still has, like, a funky thing going on, but, yeah, we definitely have it. Sorry. Still available as well, by the way. So yeah, if you guys want a good Christmas gift, cool. I'm running to the post office tomorrow actually too, mailing out a few things. But
yeah, man, we'll share a lot of stuff. Share whatever you want. Usually sometimes people just come on and we talk, and that's great. But if you want to share artwork, you know me, dude. I love art. Oh yeah, you got great stuff. You got a great style. What kind of influenced your style as you were going? Like, did you start young, or did you like kind of get into things late in life?
I guess I was maybe around 9 or 10. Yeah, a little bit younger than that. You just kind of mess around, in school and with family and stuff, just doing funny little cartoon characters. But yeah, around 10 is when I really jumped more into the comics themselves because I had gotten I had like the flu or something, and one of my relatives, her and one of my brothers, they went to a comic shop and they got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different books, and they brought it home. And yeah, as I was sick, I was just kind of reading through these things and taking a look at the cool artwork and different things. And it's funny too because Frega, I mentioned one of the books, one of the first books that I had owned, and he had it right on his spinner rack. It was a McFarlane Spider-Man that had Captain America on the cover with the shield. Yep. And Spidey was kind of like coming
down.
Him.
Dude, I love that cover.
Yeah. That got me hooked.
Oh, without a doubt. And before we delve any further, Angela, I see the chat is starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Say hi to a few people.
Yeah. It would just say Haldir. 6480. I guess to call him by his number. I was here first. So hail. He was usually as he was saying, always hit the like and also subscribe.
Thank you.
We got Ray in the house. Hail.
What's up, Ray? How's it going, man?
And we got Henry Bemis here as well.
Hail,
so
Henry.
cheers, guys. Nice. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
Yeah, and everybody, if you're watching on the replay and you're watching now or later, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, help grow the channel, help get eyes on it. And also, if you don't want to hear us at all, you don't care less, but you want to see what this is about, the link for Vinny's sketchbook is pinned to the top of the chat and in the description below, as well as his link tree, which is a lot easier than posting individual links. So click that. It'll take you to all of his stuff. So check it out. Yeah,
so, Pedro's here too. So
Pedro, what's going on, man?
What's up, Pedro?
See you, my friend.
More good people.
Dude. I have like we have that cover, that Spider-Man one with the cap on it.
Yep.
And McFarlane was a beast. Was he kind of your like as a kid? Was he kind of like your like that's the guy for you? You know what I mean? Like that
one
was,
of the
like,
first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely one of the first ones. Yeah. As I started learning more and about anatomy and stuff like that, and just I kind of veered over to fantasy artwork a little bit more too. And there's that number one guy.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right off the bat, because like I would do a lot of things, like like you look at a picture and you kind of redraw it just to kind of see if you got the chops to do that type of stuff. But as you start to actually build and learn, and you want to know how to make your own figures and stuff like that, I was gearing towards a whole bunch of different stuff and different artists.
Yeah.
And Silvestri, Jim Lee.
Oh yeah.
Greg Capullo. Yeah, just kind of like those sort of those like those key guys. Travis.
Charay. Yeah.
Ray, or however you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, Charist, Charay.
Whatever.
Charay, as Billy Basco likes to call him. Yeah.
I mean, dude, yeah, that guy's work was incredible.
Insane, dude. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I mean, he even did something with Mark Millar recently. He did what the hell was that called? The Ambassadors.
Yeah. I have. It's a lot of more, but I think there's that's all digital. I think. Like I think he went all digital with that one, especially with the buildings. You could tell.
The buildings for sure. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's insane how much is in those build. Like it's like, dude, just stop showing off already. We get it.
Yeah. Well, I know that's
your goat.
Well, a lot of people they use some cheap tricks in order to get.
They do. But here's the thing with Travis, he can do that even without the tricks.
Yeah. But to his credit, though, I mean, he drew out most of that book. Like there were just key shots where it was like it was too much. It was like all of Paris. That was they were insane pages. There's no way you're going to spend the time to do that, especially when you're putting out that book. So,
no. And like I said, but I don't mind that too much when I know the artist is capable of doing it. Yeah. But they're like, look, I got a month to draw this book. I mean, obviously he had more than a month probably, but still, like usually in general, you have a month to draw the book, you have a deadline, so you do the tricks. You're capable of it, but it would take you too long.
Don't forget, Todd, he's done something similar back in the day. You'll flip through a couple Amazing Spider-Man books and you'll see a city that it looks like it was something out of the newspaper and Spidey's on top of it. Like he had done that a few times as well. So
dude, and most people don't realize not only that back then they also would have ghost pencilers, or they'd have background artists, or they would have you'd have 4 or 5 inkers on a comic that they didn't credit half of them just because they were drawing a panel or a page or inking a panel. So a lot of things went into making those books that were insanely detailed for the time frame that they were, and they just needed more hands in the pot. There's no way to get that quality of work without having more hands on it. Look at what we do today in the indie comic scene. There's a reason why a lot of these books take like even 2 months to draw. Like if you combine all the time, about 2 months to draw because of all the detail we're putting in. Because it's taking us longer to draw the pages because they're more heavily involved because we are one person is drawing it and or coloring it and or there's so much.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, styles have changed. They've adapted over time as well. And there's a certain degree of detail that's being put into these things. Like, I mean, I could speak for myself as well. Like the amount of work that I'm putting into these things, it's taking time. But as you said, I'm doing everything on my books, Yeah. What's up, Tommy?
Going on, Tommy?
But I'm writing, drawing, inking, coloring, lettering, and fulfilling. I do it all.
Now, are you self-taught? Did you go through a school of any kind, like a specialty school? So all self-taught. So I mean, and granted, you could tell somebody's self-taught, and yet, you went through high school. Obviously, you had an art teacher, but as far as they didn't teach comics. No, they didn't do that. But
no, it's crazy how all that works out too. And like you were saying too, even in high school, I didn't learn shit from my art teachers. In fact, I fought with them. It was one in particular, because I got into the advanced placement, side of it, and there was two different courses to kind of take, and the course that I chose was specifically the drawing side. There were the other ones where you do other stuff, you do some clay work, paper mache shit, all sorts of weird things. I didn't care for that. I'm I know what I want to do. I know what I want to be. So getting into that side of it, I was fighting with them all the time because first she was trying to deter me. She's like, there's to get the college credits. She goes, no one's ever gotten past like a 3. Maybe one of my students got a 4. Like she was like really trying to be a dick to me. I'm like, are you for real? And then like for the final, I didn't know like you were supposed to have like 3 pieces of artwork that would get sent out, and it gets graded by like the college courses and the college people and all that, and then you get your major grade. And I didn't know any of that stuff, and she didn't tell me that you would get your artwork back. She kept saying, no, you're going to send it out and that's it. I'm like, what do you mean and that's it? I'm not losing these pieces. I said, I'm not going to do it then. She's like, well, then I'll fail you. Rick? You know, it was like that type of stupid thing. And I'm like, what? I talked to another teacher, an English teacher, and she said, no, they send your artwork back. I said, what? She goes, yeah. Go back in there, have a conversation with her. Like she gave me a pass to go over and just talk to her like on her break. And I said, wait a minute. Another teacher told me that I'm going to get my artwork back. She goes, yeah, you get your artwork back. I said, why didn't you tell me that to begin with? Why did you keep saying that? Hey, that's it, and that's it, and that's it. You know?
And that's the opposite the way. So they're teachers. They should be encouraging. They should be guiding. And they should be like, oh, you really love drawing. That's what you really, you excel at it. Let's really hone that and expand on that demographic. Like, okay, yes. Like sculpting, it's good to learn those 3-dimensional shapes, and you can you can transfer that to a 2-dimensional thing, and like learning the spatial, stuff like that. And it does help. But if as a student, if you're like, look, I really want to learn to hone those skills. I had a great art teacher in high school, Dr. Porter, R.I.P. Loved her. She was fantastic. So I had a great mentor, and yeah, but that's what they should be doing. They're teachers. They should be guiding. And that's what's great about what we have going on here in a way. We're all kind of teachers to people who are either getting into things brand new, or who don't know like the full skill set. Like Angela asked me a great question the other night. Like, how much do you need to know anatomy to be a comic artist? Great question. Like, and you know what? I'll ask you the same question. I answered it in my way. What is your opinion on it? How much of anatomy is important as far as comic art goes?
I think a huge amount, and for me personally, a huge amount. If the artwork is really, really bad, I kind of just like I won't even look at it. I understand people are very stylized stuff too, and I've gravitated towards that type of stuff too because art is subjective, but if you're telling a story, everything has to be cohesive. You need to know what's going on in it. So for me, like, again, like everything that I had done, I can only speak for myself, but like what I had done is study everything I possibly could from anatomy perspective, get the foundations down. If you don't have the foundations, your house is going to crumble. Something's going to be off. Something's going to look wrong. So storytelling aspects, I kind of dove into everything, but yeah, real quick to answer Paige's question. Yeah, she was going through a divorce that year. So yes, you are 100% right. She wasn't getting it at home. And I did get a perfect score. First ever in all the years that she taught there. So yeah, she even called me after the fact to try to apologize.
I mean,
you want to hear it.
To be said, there's also some people out there that they're just spiteful. Like they don't.
Oh yeah.
There's something in their life that just makes them gear and move more towards hate and anger and just and it's illogical. Like it doesn't further your growth as a human being. And all it does is hinder it. And the only thing that brings them any kind of levity is destroying other people. Yeah. And to me, that's counterproductive and it's just wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree 100%. They get fixated and then, they start spinning stories and talking weird things. And yeah, I was sick of all that shit, because I've seen it too many times in a lot of the circles we've been in. I mean, I try to keep it clean and clear. You've known me. Other people have known me. The only time I've ever spoken out is when people really crossed the line or did something very heinous and evil that had nothing to do with comics. That's when I've spoken up. Other than that, I don't care. Do your thing. You don't like me or whatever. You don't like other people. Just stay away from them. Do your own thing. Stay in your lane.
Even as far as your teacher goes, like if your teacher didn't like you or she's spiteful, just what? Look at your artwork, grade it, move on. Like that's it. You don't have to you don't sit there trying to tear you down because like her life is garbage. So so yeah. Hey, what's good? What's Tommy saying?
Oh, he's saying I don't know. I don't know about that. My anger keeps me going, makes me more powerful. But
okay. You can use anger as a productive quality and move you forward. You can do it. I'm always angry at things. Forget about it. but it moves me forward. It's
right.
I don't I, my anger isn't projected towards other people.
Yeah, you
it's projected as to where proving them wrong. Like, not just wrong is like saying I'm going to do better than you by being a better person because I'm so angry about either you or the situation or the times at hand. Like, look, we live in very odd times. And so these people that are like, you know, we won't get too far into this because this is about pop culture and comics mainly, but we still touch on other things. But still, like these and these wackos out there that like push agenda into comics and do it upsets me. And it's like, screw you, I'm going to do better by not putting my own agenda or my own. But yes, comics have a theme as a whole. Like, there is an agenda in a way in it, but it doesn't have to be yours. You want to make it as broad as possible to adhere to as many people as possible, and not force your own perspective into things that much. Like, it's just insane. You're gonna, like, as a creative, you're gonna put yourself into things, but you have to know when to hold back. So,
well, I'd say every character has a piece of you in it, regardless. You could go down the history of like any of these creators across the board. There's something in there. Look at Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Stan Lee is all over that character as well. You know, he's gone through similar shit. You know, but it's those type of things. But it's not that he was ever pushing agenda on anyone, and that's the difference between what was happening then and what's happening now. Now it's they want their voices heard only. So every character sounds the same. Everything that they put out there is like, it's ridiculous. That's why we've done what we've been doing. We've been telling our own stories. We've been pushing out this stuff because we are all sick of that nonsense. We want to have cool stories, fun things through the woods. You didn't really see any of me they weren't really like overwhelming in that story. The only thing you might see is the anger of some of those characters because like, I'm Italian, I got a short fuse. But that's besides the point. The thing is, you know, like you said, you use it in a proper way. Like, again, like my teacher, I made sure I was going to get the best grade ever. And I did, you know, it's that stuff. Like you said, you use it, you know, and like right out of high school, I started working for McFarlane, you know, one of my comic book heroes, you know, I got to design figures at his company. I was a lead designer. You know, I came in at a level I wasn't supposed to be at. And then because of all the work I was doing and the amount of stuff I was producing, and the millions I helped make Todd, I you know, I got to that next level. It's like, oh no, he's a lead designer.
So you right out of high school, you went right into work. How did that come about? Like, was it your portfolio? Was it like right place, right time? Like, was it a factor of everything?
Portfolio. It was really interesting too because my brother Frank, who actually wrote Through the Woods, he had an idea of filming the work instead of just sending like a regular portfolio. It was something different. And because Todd, in the back of one of the Spawn books, they were looking for artists and stuff, but they weren't 100% clear on like what jobs you were going to be getting. They made it look like it was just under his banner somewhere. We didn't know what. It was Todd McFarlane Productions, but it happened to be it was the art studio that actually we were making all the figures for him. So it was his direct label. And that studio, it wasn't in Arizona. That happened later. It was in New Jersey. So took a trip up there. It was funny too because I kind of had an option to go to Top Cow and intern there.
Oh wow!
I had sort of like an option, and I chose for multiple reasons the McFarlane path. It's something I want to get into, but I chose that because it was a little bit easier too. I didn't know anyone out in California either. I was able to stay with some family in New York, and basically I would take you know the subways and the buses to get out to Jersey. And yeah, upon being there, just like you know, after the first meeting, it was kind of just like like we're here. You know, I stayed with family for a couple of months until I was able to find my own place, and then I was just kind of there. You know, making all these things and literally digging out properties out of the trash. Like there was stuff they had no idea what they had that they passed on. And I'm like, what the? I went to them like, guys, you know what this is, right? Like, you know, I saved the video game license that when they found out what the first game had made, like the guy was like spitting his lunch out all over the table and like choking. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, that was one of the biggest games. It was Onimusha for Capcom. And this was a sequel. And they passed on the first ones and made their own samurais, which it's funny because those did not last the test of time. those figures like crumble because of the cheap plastic that they used at the time. Almost anyone who has them, it'd be rare to find one that was actually intact. We'll put it that way.
Oh my gosh.
So when you went to work on in McFarlane, what did you do while you were there? Was it package design? Was it sculpting? Because if it was sculpting, it'd be interesting. You kind of shied away from like the clay and stuff, and now you're actually working with sculpting. So
no, I had another brother who he did the sculpting stuff. And I was literally drawing. I was making the designs that we would pass over to the sculptors.
Oh, sweet!
And I'd work back and forth with them. I'd work back and forth with the fabricators to make the weapons. It was really interesting. The process was interesting, but yeah, essentially, like I drew out and created the entire line of like the figures that I worked on, and then when we got to the clay side of things, we'd keep having like meetings with Todd, and he'd give his thumbs up or his thumbs down on certain things or what we need to tweak or change. From that point, we just kind of like again we bounced back and forth a bit. So nice. I had a really great working communication with the sculptors, with the paint department, because I did some painting as well while I was there. I even helped build some of the sets. So if you remember, some of the photographers, they would have these elaborate sets and things that they would make like out of foam and all other stuff, but you wouldn't really be able to tell. Like for the samurai stuff, they built like this whole setup that looked incredible, and like I helped the guy who was making those, like kind of did a little bit of everything, but my primary job was designing those figures.
Nice.
Was actually drawing them up and
and doing what you loved to do, draw. Like now while you were there, were you also working on like your own project, like Through the Woods, and were you slowly developing your own stuff, or were you just sketching and developing your style?
A little bit of both, because I had stories and stuff that I was getting down, but a lot of them were still kind of just like the meat of the story. I didn't get super detailed yet. There's a story I've yet to tell that's a main part of my universe. It's a very, very big book. That's why I haven't dove into it yet, because I'm the way that I'm kind of working. Because most of my books, like they look like they're completely different things, but they are like in a connected universe.
I was going to ask
but
that,
it's more. Well, a lot of them are more like historical kind of based. So it's like we have our history, right, of like the Roman times and stuff like that. So I sort of have like these certain periods, but there is going to be a connecting factor throughout these stories. You don't have to get every single book in order to appreciate like the one that you're about to get. Like if you want the pirate story, you could just get a great pirate story. But I'm putting other elements in there, and you'll see Easter eggs. So later on, when you see something else happening, you could refer back to the pirate book and like, oh shit, it was in there. Holy crap! So it is kind of, everything is connected.
Nice. Yeah, and for anyone listening, if you want to check it out now, click the link in the top of the chat to check out a sketchbook, and the link tree to everything is in the description as well. So go ahead and look at it. Go ahead, keep the tab open. Listen to us yabber on and yabber away. Yeah. So you're working at McFarlane. You're having fun. You're drawing. You're working for your idol. Because I mean, really, dude, who didn't idolize him? Even me, who loves Sam Keith and all them, I was like, Todd's the man. Like everyone, Todd the man. So that had to be fantastic. What got you then? I don't want to say out of that, but what got you into the crowdfunding comic scene? Did you initially want to maybe apply at Marvel? Was that a thing for you, or did you want to do your own thing?
I wanted to work for the big companies for a while. At this point, it would only be for money. I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. If they came to me and like, yeah, here's X amount of dollars to work on something. Yeah, I would do it. But I still rather do my own stuff. At a time, I was that close from landing a major comic book, which was the Marvel Knight Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
Literally, yeah. The editor I was dealing with was one of the top guys, Ralph Macchio, and not the Karate Kid. But
everybody sees the name and they think Karate Kid. It's like,
right.
But
he was one of their top editors, and the guy loved my work. And 2 weeks before I signed the contract, I mean, it's kind of the famous story everyone knows. Is Joe Quesada stepped in, put one of his buddies on the book, and there was a series of art theft. They were also stealing my artwork, including Joe himself. They traced over my stuff. I've shown that years ago. talked about it multiple times.
Well, and it does make sense for like Marvel to notice you. You are working at McFarlane Toys. You're doing artwork. Like I'm sure they have like people that look at that kind of thing, the scout artists in different companies. So the transition does make sense as to where you would have eyes on it. Not only that, I don't know if you were submitting because I don't know how long ago that was.
I was there in person.
There you go.
I had meetings at Marvel and at DC.
Nice.
Yeah, DC was a little more strange how they operated, and I saw how unprofessional they were in the office as well, which was kind of crazy. It felt more corporate until I literally ran into one of their older editors. I won't say his name because the guy was drunk off his ass, and he was talking shit on a major, kind of a major player who couldn't get work anymore. It was crazy. So, yeah, he's down there again, begging for work and all this kind of shit. And I'm like already you could see the seeds of how poisonous this industry is. And over time, we got to see a lot of that. We got to see how many people harass and attack one another and all this other bullshit.
That's awful. And I mean, I'm not defending the guy. I'm just coming at it as a devil's advocate point of view. Like if I'm the head guy in charge and my friend is an artist, I'm like, hey man, I'm going to put you on this book. Everybody's like, oh, well, we already have somebody lined up. Like, yeah, well, I don't know him. I have a friend. I'm going to hook my friend up. Yeah. I can understand that. Like, it really sucks. It really sucks. But I can look at it. If you look at it from both sides, you see where, like, I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm not defending the action,
I know. I've looked at it every side because, I mean, that's one thing that people know about me. I break things down logically. I've always done that. So when I see even the good and the bad, when I see someone is more bad than good, I don't need them in my life. It's that type of shit too. So when it comes down to that work aspect and how some of these people are and how they operate, it is really bad. And I've seen, it's not just me. I'm not a special case either. I know for a fact Joe has stolen artwork from other people, traced over it, and done shit like that. Really dirty stuff.
I mean, dude, to be honest, there's people in the indie comic scene that we're a part of that are doing that. Like,
I know. And it's something I personally, I don't tolerate. That's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped showcasing people in a big way. It's if I do know you, if I've known you for a long time, I know what your style is, I know what your work is. Chances are, you could come on if you want to promote or push something.
And that's the thing. Like you said, I know what your style is and stuff like that. And we all have drawn our inspiration from other artists or writers or anything, and we adapt it and meld it into our own style. And but we kind of mutate it and make it our own, even though it still reflects their thing. So you can mesh a Neil Adams and a Todd McFarlane, and then you get something totally different.
Well,
I see a lot of Michael Turner in your work in a way with the ladies, especially. I see a little bit of that, or even a Silvestri, so it's there. You're not drawing like Mark Silvestri.
No.
It's not like I can find those characters in an X-Men book.
It's exactly like you said. You have these influences and they're going to shine. Certain things will shine through in your work, Same deal. I could do that with other top artists. People have been working in the business for a long time. I'm like, oh, I know exactly who inspired them. It's this artist, that artist, and this one, similar stuff. But if you could create your own style, your own specific kind of flavor to it, because I mean, I've heard that multiple times. People said, if they see my work, they know, that's 100%. That's Vinnie style. That's Vinnie stuff.
Yep.
I try to make things ultra clean. That's for me specifically, because I love line work. I know in the beginning, a lot of people just thought all I did was paint over the beautiful lines that I've done. I did it for specific things. I don't normally do that. Even the cover that you see here, it's behind me. The line work is all there. I did not paint over anything. It's just I have a painterly style because I was also doing portrait artwork as well. There's other things, other gigs I was doing. I did storyboard artwork as well. All sorts of different stuff. So I didn't go straight from the toys into that. I was developing and doing lots of different jobs. A lot of different book covers and things like that as well. So kind of peppered and scattered all over the place. But I love storytelling. So I have a universe of characters. I got multiple books that stuff guys haven't even seen yet that I have planned. That's why I'm kind of going in a sort of a systematic way. City of Venus, that's a bigger book that connects a little bit more directly to a couple of other ones. So that's why I'm diving back into that one with issue 2. Plus, people waited a long time. I wasn't expecting to do some of the things that I did, but I pivoted in that direction because of other factors that kind of happened, and like the pirate book as well. Like that book, that was something I wanted to tell that story for the longest time. Shadow of the Kraken. I love pirates. I've never seen them done the correct way in comics. It's always something extra weird or strange. I wanted to tell a really good pirate story. Then you could have your fantastical moments, because I do have like supernatural elements that are in there. Right. We're not talking Pirates of the Caribbean shit, but it's other stuff that again directly connects to some.
Well, and that was still active, right? That was still active. People could still pick it up.
I have 4 campaigns. 3 of them ship immediately.
There you go. Linktree. Click the Linktree. Yeah, go check them out.
City of Venus, Through the Woods, hardcover. And by the way, this is nearly 100 pages. This beautiful book, hardcover. This was the one that I did. I re-released for everybody because it was my very first campaign.
Yeah.
It was a 3-issue miniseries. Cool. Yeah, 3-issue miniseries. Oh, I'll show you like this. You can see this. Oh, hopefully you could.
Yep.
You could almost see the size.
Sorry, it's oversized. It's oversized.
Yeah, it's oversized. Yeah, it's about like 8.5 by 11 inches.
Yeah.
Giggity, but yeah, no, it's an awesome read too, and trust me, everyone who's gotten it, over 800 people have gotten this online. I've sold more after the fact as well. But yeah, that one still ships if you guys want it. Like I said, it goes out the door. It'll go out the door Monday. So yeah, if you back it today. Nice. This is what I'm saying. Like there's quality. There's great stuff here. The pirate book, Shadow of the Kraken. That's a 52-page perfect bound book. You know, high quality. Everything I put out, for me, for my standards, it has to be up there. That's why I have not launched Venus 2 yet. People kept going, where is it? Where is it? You guys wanted more pages, so that it's going to be around 52 pages as well.
And I remember that being the case for Shadow of the Kraken. Everybody was like, "Oh, where is it?" Where's it? Like, "Oh, it's not ready." And people were like begging you to launch it, practically. Mm-hmm. Like they wanted you to launch it. I think that you even had people vote on it, whether or not you should launch it now or wait. So
I might have done that. Yeah,
I think you did. Like in your chat, I think it was.
It might have been. Yeah,
it might have been. So yeah, so like but. Here's the thing that's good that to hold back and to wait, but it's also good. You're like, I got to still stay prevalent because you also have the sketchbook out now, which is like a collection of your works. It's something to be out there and be like, hey, I'm still here.
It's another art book. It's not specifically a sketchbook. Although,
I say sketchbook, but
yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, it's 64 pages, and that's why I wanted to show people my drawing style, my inking style, and full color illustration. Yeah. So I have like covers I've done for other artists and people. Six Gun Gorilla, Chris Fisk was his Infinite Tale Chronicles, Sunsworn. Like there's a bunch of stuff in here. Something I did for Sweetcast as well. I don't know.
And we'll check that out towards the end here.
Like we got some really cool pieces in this book, but like I said, it's a ton of different stuff, things people have never seen before. A piece I did for John Malin, but just the black and whites on that. It was in one of his pinup book things, but I don't think it's gonna pop up here. But pretty cool stuff.
No, I just wanted to get back into like okay, so the Marvel thing happened, like it was upsetting. So then were you like, you know what? Screw everyone. I'll do it myself. Is that was your attitude then at that point? You went straight into the
That's exactly what happened, because that's when I started teaching myself how to computer color, and I didn't know my ass from my elbow when it came to it. Oh my god, dude! I had this big tablet I spent too much money on.
About what year is this? Do you know?
2003, 2004.
Oh wow! So like pretty early days of Photoshop and everything like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Dark Bacon.
It felt like I was working with a brick. I'm like, I like, how do I make this work? But
dude, for me, the longest I stayed away. Like I was like, oh, that's just cheating. People who do digital is cheating. But once I got into it, I'm like, yeah, it's really not. Like,
it's just another tool.
Yeah, it's just another tool. And like we could get into AI art, which to me, yes, that's cheating. But like Photoshop and digital, it's a tool. When used properly, you can use it to cheat. Like you can, without a doubt. Like, but when used properly, using your skill set and what you've learned throughout the years and transferring it into that program, it's not.
That's another reason too why, like, in a lot of my work, I want the line work to shown through, so people could see that. Oh no, yeah, he definitely drew all that stuff, because there's a lot of people, like, I could tell too. I know the manga artists specifically. They use like the clip art studio, and it's basically they could turn like photos into like line work or whatever, and you could tell. I mean, I'm sorry, you could tell. For me, there's something that's a whole lot better. Like Neil Adams, Greg Capullo, these are guys who they knew what they were doing. They knew perspective, they knew anatomy, they knew storytelling, things of that nature. So their work has a very specific look to it. They could do anything. If you know anatomy and you know perspective, those two tools alone, you're going to be able, you're going to surpass the next guy, you know? But like for me, it's, you should always be learning, you know? That's why I did like those master classes as well. I have like 15 or 16 different art classes that I.
People go check out. Yeah, check out Vinny's YouTube because he's got the masterclass drawing classes. They're fantastic. I've looked at them. I've even been like, oh, that's a great way to go about it, and I've utilized them as well. Even myself, and I've been drawing for 30 years. So you never know what you're going to learn from.
I said the same exact thing. You know, put your ego at the door. You could always learn something new. It doesn't matter how high of a level you are in art. You could always learn something new or appreciate someone else's approach to storytelling, to this, to that, you know, fill in the blank. Because like I have a lot of like, I have a couple on like composition and storytelling specifically, and certain things that like why your eye would be geared towards certain elements on a page or a panel, you know, and you have to kind of lead the viewer. Because again, we're storytellers with comic books. It's not just, oh, look at the pretty pictures. It's no, you want to get them from the first panel to the last panel and why they would turn the page. Like, you know, excited to see what's on the next page. Like, that's your job.
Well, one great thing to do, go look at Vinny's, masterclass drawing classes, and then go to Dan Lawless's channel because he's got tutorials, and you can even see different techniques. Just doing those two artists alone, you could see different techniques, how they go about utilizing things, but you could also see the familiarities and the similarities that are like, oh, these little overlaps, so this technique must work really well. And artists are kind of utilizing the same
like
thing.
Certain go-to approaches. I mean, like the Loomis method on how to like draw a human head. Like there's certain things that it's going to be easier, and once you start to do it, you practice it more. It's going to become like second nature, and you could go and from there kind of gear it towards your own style and your own approach.
Let me ask you this, because it is different. It is interesting to me how people go about approaching something when you're drawing a person. Doesn't matter the pose. What do you kind of start with? Do you start with the head? Do you even once the layout is kind of there? Do you start with the head? Do you like start detailing up the torso? Like where do you start and where do you end?
It does depend. I like trying to get the motion of the character down kind of first. Almost like that through line, that energy of like kind of what's going on in the page too. Sometimes it will be just like kind of doodling in a sketchbook or whatever, and certain shapes that kind of start to form. But in my mind too, like if there's a specific story element that's going on, there's like a chick who's jumping over a wall or something. Like I want to try to think in my mind, like how would that work out the best? So look really dynamic. 1, 2, is it an important thing on this page or whatever? You're trying to find the most important kind of thing to tell first, like on the pages, like you're breaking down. But if it's kind of like an actiony kind of thing, okay, she's vaulting over a wall somehow. Something's behind her. She's running from it. So it's like, for me, it would be like, all right, how would I do it? Or how would like an athlete do it? Because that's a good approach too. Since we're drawing like superheroes and stuff like that, someone who's like, that's kind of what they do, right? They worked all their lives to get their bodies in a certain shape. So it's like, all right, maybe she got her hand on the wall and she's kind of just throwing her legs forward first. There's some that maybe it'll just be kind of like jumping hurdles. They don't want to touch anything. So it's like, once you kind of figure out what you want to do with that, from there, it's kind of, so it'd be like pose and face is probably, to me, would maybe be second because you want to get like the expression right. Because if that expression's off, it's going to look weird. So like if there's like an action thing happening, she's in fear, she's running, and you just have a neutral face, it's going to look weird. If she's too happy, it's going to look weird unless that's what the character is, like a Harley Quinn. You know, Harley Quinn. Maybe she's crazy and she loves the action, the explosions, and whatnot.
Yep.
But if it's a character who's like fearful and like, you know, I'm determined to get out of here, it's going to be something different. So you kind of break down those elements. You think about a lot because, again, as an artist and doing everything, it's like you're the actors, you're the writer, you're the director, you're the lighting guy. You know, it's kind of
especially when you do everything in the book. Like there are plenty of artists who work with the team, and there's nothing wrong with that. I work with ink spots now. You know, it's fantastic.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. But,
nothing wrong with it.
But again, like it starts with the penciler though. Because like if there's certain things that you need to get down, including like the lighting in a room or whatnot, your shading, your line work is going to tell that to the inker. The inker has to translate that to the colorist. So it's like a chain of people kind of all working together. That's why when you have the best teams that they could produce that the right way. Because I've seen books where you'll have like the line work and the art. It'll be like, okay, there's an odd shadow going in an opposite direction, and then you have another cast shadow going in that way, and that means none of these guys lined up properly, and they're just kind of like, I'll just do my own thing with it. No, you need to be all in unison. If there's one light source hitting in a specific spot, why is there a shadow going on that other side of the room?
I can't remember who I was with or what channel it was on, but we were talking about this as to where like you could have a phenomenal penciler, but even the inker, then if you don't have like a decent inker that knows how to work with you, they like if you look at Secret Wars, if you look at the pencils for that, Mike Zeck's pencils are phenomenal, and then you look at the actual artwork that got produced, you're like, what happened? Like where did everything go? Because the inker just brutalized it and just destroyed it. So it is key, and like, and I've even been asked like, how do you go about finding the colors? How do you go about finding this? I'm like, honestly, you know, social media really is the main tool, but you got to test people out. You got to be like, hey, I'll give you $30. Send me a sample of you like doing a panel or something over my line work, you know, or something. Like pay people for their samples, people, please. But
for sure, dude.
For sure, because you're not asking them to draw the whole book. You just want a couple, images. So, yo, what's up, Mike? What's going on, Mike?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, Mike's good people. So yeah, so it is important to have that team if you have a team. Now, if you're doing it all yourself, like Vinny, it helps also with the finances because you don't got to pay nobody else. But it's a little nice. It's a little nice to learn all this stuff, but it takes a long time. Yeah. So,
but there's pros and cons with all of it, though. I mean,
there is pros and cons. Yeah,
because then like I'm juggling other work in order to pay the bills because like I don't like to launch until something's done because for me
that's
like
a smart way about
it.
It feels odd if I get into a position where I have to do it like. But right now, I prefer to get at least as much done possible before doing a launch. Like I said, I have literally a sample copy of the book I'm promoting now. It's done. But like if I could hit like the stretch goals, I want to add more to it. I want to do something more as well. Like because I've literally like a ton of pages I could just put right into it quite easily, and it'll work great in the layout of like.
But and that brings us back. Like, so you were working on your own stuff? Screw you guys! I'm going to do it myself. Like around, or early 2000s, mid 2000s. Have you? When did you first like? When did Through the Woods? Because Through the Woods is the first thing, right?
Yeah, Through the Woods. I was juggling a bunch of different jobs. So like I said, I was.
Well, you're still working in the time frame, obviously.
Yeah, I was doing like some commercial jobs and stuff like that, and then I started doing like. Because I kind of broke it down. Like I wanted to do at least like a short story to get out there first. Because like that one, it's literally a concept that both my brother and I, we pitched it to one another like this cool concept, right? And certain elements of it, like I lean towards more, and he kind of forgot about and stuff like that. So I did the first draft of Through the Woods. It was right when I almost got the the Spider-Man gig, and from there, like I'm like, all right, screw this. So I started kind of teaching myself how to computer color and stuff. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just do it all myself. I was already determined I was going to do this because I could already pencil like crazy, talk to multiple people in the industry, became friends with a couple of them as well. Tim Townsend, he said it'd be a wet dream to ink over my work. This is one of the big inkers at Marvel. And,
dude, Townsend's great, man.
And a good dude as well. But like,
hey, Amanda,
when you have those kind of influences, I had Stan Lee telling me like my work is absolutely epic. Keep going. Don't worry about the big two. That like a lot of those kind of influences and things and people I've met, it's helped a lot. So I sat down, I started riding through the woods, and from that point, I went through I had to move some crazy life stuff, and then I was talking with my brother, and we're like, yeah, let's make this happen. He did a rewrite. We removed a certain element it was going to be more horror based, very kind of bloodbath almost, and we figured it might alienate a certain group. So more PG-13 made more sense than rated R/X. Yeah, because there's a character in the original book who was literally going to be split in two at the last page.
No, dude, that still would have been dope to see.
Yeah, I was even thinking about doing like a variant. Just
I was gonna say, yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you like yeah?
Is that in the new art book?
No, that's not in the new art book.
Man.
No. But I might do something along those lines. The thing is, no one would know who the character is because it was someone who's removed.
Frankie.
He was removed from the story. Hey, Frank. But yeah, it was somebody who just removed from the story because the element was.
I mean, I get it. PG-13, you're going to appeal to a wider audience. You're going to get more backers and stuff.
Yeah.
But you still can tell your story.
Because here's a great example too. Because when I had the books completed, I was at C2E2, and a father came over, and he had two little girls. One had to be maybe 6, and the other one maybe 8, and they were curious about it because they loved the artwork. They loved the cover of the first book, and they were asking their father, and he's like, is this appropriate for kids? I said, it's Spawn level, I would say, because it's like there's certain things that happen in Spawn where I know they were very grotesque, but it was just the third book that was a little, we got a little more violent with it because you wanted to see the villain get his in the end. So I showed him like the last couple of pages of that, and he was cool with this. Oh, no, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, they've read books that are a little more, stronger than that or just about the same. So they got them, and those kids, like, they came back maybe an hour later after having lunch or something, and they bought a couple more sets. They both loved the story. They were reading it when they sat down to to have lunch in between the convention and all that. And so it's stuff like that and hearing things like that. And over the years, the guy was buying a bunch of stuff for me because he loved what we put out there. His kids loved it. They were growing up with that,
And dude, that is like, I've been at a few events and stuff like that, and there's nothing to me better. Like, I like it. Don't get me wrong. When like somebody's 30 or 40 or 20 coming over and they like it, but whenever you get like a 14-year-old kid, like they're like, oh, I really love this. It's like great. A young person likes comic books, and that's wonderful. And you could actually introduce them to something that isn't part of the mainstream. And if they like what it looks like, you're introducing them to a whole different scene with indie comics. Like, and then that's their first taste or something like that. And it's kind of exhilarating, like to get that feeling, like, just to have the younger ones be over and be like, oh, this is amazing artwork. And that's what gravitates them first, obviously, like the art. They see it and they love it.
Sure,
so, and like you said, though, like I have had parents be like, is this okay? Can I get this? And you know where to gauge it, you know where to do. So, so you have Through the Woods that, that finally came out. Around what year did you start crowdfunding that? Was that like early 2018, 2019?
Somewhere around 2018, 2019.
And then what got you into that? What made you notice, hey, I can crowdfund these? Like, what got you into that?
It was like the Bright. I've known the Brightwisers from the convention scene because I did like about a decade straight of doing a lot of the conventions. And I had a number of different friends and stuff said, yeah, you should get into crowdfunding. And I didn't know the difference between these things. The people that I knew, there's a number of them who like Kickstarter and they were using Kickstarter. But then you start seeing some of the stuff that's behind the scenes and what's going on. Certain blue-haired people who were trying to gatekeep over on that side. So it's the only reason why I veered towards Indiegogo. And then like seeing some of the people, like what they were doing. And again, like, and the Brightwisers, again, I knew them from the convention scene and I heard what they were doing and kind of what kind of started it. And then from there, some of the other names who were kind of like, yeah, we're doing our own thing. And the thing, like, I was on board for a long time until I started seeing like too much of the regular industry shit was bleeding into that and becoming way worse. That's why I just said, you know what, I'm 100% indie. I don't need to be affiliated with any specific thing. because I don't like anyone being stalked, harassed, or anything of that nature.
Right.
I'm in this to make comic books. I'm not in it to be, a clout chaser or the next big YouTube sensation. I don't give a shit. If it happens naturally, great. But I want to make comic books.
Well, and you did it the right way. Like, you slowly grew your channel out by show. But I would hop on. We would have fun. We joke around, but then we would promote books and then joke around. Yeah. Like, it was growing your channel, getting eyes on things, or like I'd watch you do it too from the chat or if I'm busy. But it's you slowly grew your channel to get the audience to help get eyes on your book and other people's stuff as well, because you have guests on, and that's the right way to go about it. But that's not your core gig. Like, that's not like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm like, me, I came in with Frega, and like, his motto is like, it's art, it's fans, it's passion, it's all about comics. And that's me. I'm like, that's what I want.
Exactly. That's why you and I became friends very quickly. I was on Frega's for a good amount of time as well. He was cool. I think one of the first kind of indie creators who got him on my channel. We had a fantastic conversation, that's when you get to know people, like that one-on-one kind of thing. And that's what I always enjoyed. When it got too perverted, it got into this other weird shit. Because even like in my books, I don't go super extreme. I have sexy women, I have some hot stuff, but I'm not going to go gratuitous. They're not going to be spread eagle, porno shit. I'm not doing that. Like, if guys want to do that, that's up to them. For me, I want to have something where it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense to the story. I don't just want to have something over the top. I'll have extreme violence at times. Like, I literally have a guy getting eaten by a shark in the pirate book. You'll see another one with his intestines floating in the water.
Nice.
I mean, like, I'll do crazy stuff, but it has to make sense to the story. Like, the villain had done something very evil, and I wanted to show again how evil this guy is and how bad that person. I want that drama on the page. I don't need it in real life,
and that's what it's for. It's for the fantasy. If you want the drama, you want it to be a fantasy element. You don't want there's real. What's going on, Gary? Man, good to see you.
What's up?
You want drama in your escapism. You don't want it in your real life, because real life is hard enough as it is.
Oh,
it's like, why do I want to make it harder? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly, and that's another thing too. Like, when you have personal stuff going on, like again, we had a pet who had cancer on and off for 2 years and just passed this week, and we talk about a gut punch. Like, we're dealing with other stuff, things more important. You think I care about a slap fight on the internet? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, who cares about that? Yeah,
right. It's like, that's it. You want to have fun with what we're doing, the creative process, telling these stories, getting these books out to people's hands. That's what I care about. That's what I was all about, and that's what I'm going to continue to be about. But don't get me wrong. Someone tries something, I'll put them down. I've done it before.
And speaking about fun, cool, amazing stuff, we got this.
3, 2, 1, roll 5.
Hello, everyone. This is Vinnie Tartamella, and this is the Art of Vinnie Tartamella, Volume 3. This book will be 64 pages. I am the creator of Shadow of the Kraken, creator of City of Venus, Dead City, and co-creator of Through the Woods. And I have a ton of amazing projects. This book is going to be loaded with awesome drawings, sketches, super detailed ink pieces, and full color illustrations. And as a bonus, I'm going to have a sneak peek at City of Venus, Dead City 2 in this book as well. So a couple of awesome pages and panels and things to whet the appetite. I hope you guys will stay tuned for that one. That book is going to be 52 pages. You guys wanted more story, more artwork, so you're going to get it. So thank you so much for all your support. Again, this book will be 64 pages, so bigger than the first 2 volumes. Back this book today. and this is campaign number 7.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and all my stuff's been out on time.
Oh yeah.
I only had a slight delay, but I changed it on the website as well for Shot of the Kraken when that happened. But dude, it's been shipping. They're all, everything's available, and it's been fantastic. But yeah, because I had gotten COVID as well when I was working on that book, and it's the only thing that slowed me down a little bit.
Well, dude, that's the thing though. That's why real life happens. Even you could have 90% of the book done within 2 months, and then something tragic could happen, and you can end up being late. Like you don't. Real life throws curveballs that we just can't avoid, and this isn't our main gig. Like we work on top of this, so I'm not saying that comics and art isn't work. I know it's work, but we have other. We have 9 to 5s pretty much, so to speak, on these sides. So real life throws curveballs, man. I've had them. We've all had them, and they make projects late. It happens, but yes, you are reliable, man. You're on time. You produce high quality work, great stories, a lot of fun.
Yep.
And so, tell me about this third book. This is a collection of your art that is just like you had laying around. Some of it is like cool sneak peeks. Like, what's going on with this one?
I do have a sneak peek of City of Venus 2 in here. I got a couple pages. I want to show people that yes, stuff's happening. When I have more to show, that's when I'll be closer to launching. So I'm just kind of a little bit here and there, but yeah, it's definitely in here. You'll see a couple of pages and even some color as well. But yeah, I'm super proud of that. But in here, you're gonna have, like I said, something like those convention sketches, like you see the Joker here. I have a ton of different stuff, personal pieces that people haven't seen before. Again, there's like characters that you shouldn't really talk about, but you know how it goes, license stuff.
I know how it goes.
But yeah, this is the 3rd volume. If anyone's gotten the first 2 volumes, the quality that you're going to get with it. But in this one, I want to showcase again a little bit more of like the pencils and inks as well. So it's like the book is like 50-50, but that's another reason why I made it a bigger book as well. This one's 64 pages. The previous ones were 52. But like I said, provided that we have if we hit the stretch goals, I'll add more pages, and I also want to make a perfect bound if we get to that point, because that would be awesome. And another thank you to everybody, because again, the collected edition of Through the Woods happened because of the fans. They wanted it. I asked them, do you want me to launch my next campaign, or do you want me to do a hardcover on Through the Woods? Because everybody missed out. That was kind of my first crowdfunder, and no one knew who I was. I only had 1 or 2 people even talking about me. And and it was all fulfilled anyway. So anyone who got them, it's we didn't make the number I wanted, but I still got money in order to produce them, and I got them out there to people. So that's what counted. And then from there, I did the first art book, and then City of Venus, kids book, and then Through the Woods, and then Shadow of the Kraken. And the kids book again, that was a limited one too, but they sold out. I had another box of 50. I put them on the City of Venus campaign a couple of years ago for Halloween. Sold out as well. So, yeah, good stuff. And again, I wanted to show more cool things, and again, you can just see some of the work here. The Joker that's on there, it's actually, it's basically it's the middle of the book as well. This one was actually purchased originally by Stan Lee. So the really cool thing about this, and I think I said it on the stream that you were on that time. Hold on, I'm trying to.
There you go, right there. But
yeah, so that piece, it was purchased by him, and this is the last time I had met Stan, and maybe it was like I think 2 years before his passing, something like that. But he came by with his people, right, and his entourage and all that. He stopped. He said something to the guys, and then they picked out 2 pieces, him and them, and he went over to his booth. Yeah, it's funny because years later he passes away, and all the original artwork and stuff it reverted back to his people, the ones who were helping him at the conventions and stuff. And it's crazy because a friend of mine, he found it on eBay. Like this person was selling these pieces, right? Oh, no. And he wrote them, and he didn't say that he knew the artist yet. He just wanted to kind of get a feel of like, who's this guy or whatever. And he told him, he goes, oh yeah, Stan Lee and myself, we met him at again at the C2E2. Everything lined up, And because my friend asked me, he wanted to know if it was legit mine, because he was trying to find other work that I've done.
Right.
Like looking on eBay, and it's crazy. I said, yeah, that's mine. I said, what the hell? And he gave me the story, and the guy wrote him a huge thing, and he told him, actually, I do know the artist, and they had a back and forth, and the guy went, oh, we'll tell him this if he didn't know. Stanley had told him specifically. He stopped him, and he says, we need to buy artwork from this kid. He does amazing work. And he had two pieces that they had purchased. It was the Joker piece, and I had Spider-Gwen, and they bought both of them. My friend ended up buying both of them, and he has them right now. So from Stan Lee,
nice, dude.
Someone I actually know, a good friend.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah. So
the funny thing is, they pick out a DC character for Stan Lee. That's kind of
so
like you would think it'd be Spider-Man or Doctor Doom or something like that. It's like they picked the Joker, which I love drawing the Joker. One of my favorites to draw.
Oh yeah,
so much fun. But it's just very funny that's the one that's the ones they got. That's awesome, dude. That's
it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. But don't forget, he did work at DC for a short time as well.
For a short time,
his vision or his how he would have tackled those characters.
It would be interesting to see him do a Joker, story. So
yeah, it's.
But see, that's great. You got these cool stories to tell and stuff like that, and like not only that, now you're doing it yourself. Like you're here, you're on your channel, which is is blown up. You go over. You have a lot of fun over there. People go subscribe to Vinnie. Great channel, great guy.
Yeah.
Also, you have a Rumble that you do tend to switch over, and you do get a little more off my beat path over there.
Yeah, we get a little bit into current. We'll say current events.
Current events, we'll say that. Yeah. And then, hey, nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't know enough about it.
Again, what have we been talking about when we got into this stuff, right? It's about freedom of speech, putting out stuff the proper way, because too many people were just being canceled right out of the gate. And we're seeing a lot of that in everything. Our entertainment's been poisoned. A lot of this stuff has. But then you look deeper into it, who's responsible for it? How they keep getting away with this stuff? It's, again, like Disney. They get, government contracts and things like that. So they used our money to make like the Indiana Jones movie. So when they lost $350 million, they didn't lose it.
So
that was our money, and that's what I mean. It's stuff like that. Like, because it's not just me in those circles. It's the other ones we've seen too, right? It's just the geeks and gamer type people. They'll fight and they'll be like, yeah, we need to do X, Y, and Z for freedom and this and that, but then they won't showcase independent creators unless they're, super famous.
And once again, it comes back to screw you, I'll do it myself.
Right. It's that type of stuff. So I'm very blunt and I'm genuine when it comes to all this type of stuff. Yeah. Like if you want to support indies, awesome. You guys have opportunities too. You've had big platforms to do it. You haven't done it. Okay, I don't need to be in those circles. I don't need to be near that.
Right.
I rather just do my thing and try to build what I could build. I mean, I know it's the marketing side of things. It's very difficult on what we're doing. But I think if more people kind of like get together in a proper way and actually want to produce things in a good way and help each other out again, there is a way to make this work even better instead of people, because they infight and then it all falls apart. And you have more people fractioning off and then people went, I don't like this hobby anymore. It's poison. We get too much of that. That's why I don't care for it.
And that's what I was going to actually get into, but say was that like we got to stop arguing amongst ourselves, whoever is and are, and just because initially a lot of people got into this because of the higher ups, so to speak, were destroying everything, and we're like, you know what, we want something cool and more fun, and it was kind of a fight between us. It was an us and them thing, but now it's like us versus them, and it's just that's backwards. Like that's not productive.
It's completely backwards.
And I understand not everybody's going to be kumbaya, but then don't hang out. Like that's all it is. Like
exactly.
So I don't like every single person out there. A lot of people don't like me. I can't understand why, but a lot of people don't like me maybe. So and it's fine. You're not gonna like everybody, but you still have a common goal. Like dude. If I didn't like you, I would probably still showcase your thing because this is a high quality product. It's amazing artwork. Your stories are great. And not only that, you're fighting against something that needs to be fought against. And until it's popular out there, this is where it is. Yeah. So even if I didn't like you, which I do like you, but even if I didn't, you would probably still be here. because that's what we're supposed. We're adults.
Yeah,
We are
thank
adults.
Thank you for
It's
that,
what it
man.
boils down to.
And likewise, I mean, you hung out on my channel not too long ago as well. I mean, and I'm glad we reached out to one another because again, it's too much weird shit that goes on. And again, I have personal stuff too, so it's another reason why I wasn't in a lot of circles to begin with. But well, I was in the beginning, but you know what I mean. I branched out.
Same thing, man. Life happens.
Life happens, but then again, too many dumb things. Because like anyone who knows me, I mended a lot of bridges between creators, and a lot of fans don't know that. There's a lot of things that I did to help people because they were being shunned or whatever. And I'm like, well, what for? I went on their streams, we talked it out, and I'm like, yeah, what's going on over here? And I'm like, oh, all right. And then like I talked to a person who hated that individual, and then like, well, why? Like break it down logically. And when things didn't line up the right way, like, oh, well, okay, I was wrong. Oh, all right. And the ones who were more adult, they came together and they helped each other. I'm like, cool. But there's times where that doesn't happen. And there's people who just want to cloud chase and cause problems and stir shit. So that's why like I branched away from it. I'm like, I don't need it. I've already done enough. I wasted enough fucking time on certain shit that was useless. I'm like, okay, well, I don't need that. And I don't need this stress. It makes no sense to me. It's stalkers and everything else. That's a couple people I had to block because of that type of thing. Because they were stalking, disrespectful. Someone I've showcased for a number of months as well. But that's besides the point. What I'm saying is when I'll give people a chance. I'll help certain individuals out. And then I get to a breaking point. You're super disrespectful. You do horrible things. It's like I told you, the good and bad. When the bad outweighs the good, then get away from me.
And not only that, you could have. Somebody could have done I don't care, SJW, whoever you are. Let's say you were my friend and all of a sudden we got separated because of you're an SJW now, or you hate everything I do because I'm comic skater, blah 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 blah. But there's still if we're both like, look, I messed up, and they're like, I messed up, I can forgive easily, no problem. I'll never forget though. I'll never forget. Like there's just that thing. It's like what in Devil's Advocate, butterfly's wings, like just like trust. Once you touch it, can't fly again, so I can forgive you, we can still be friends, fine, cool, but I will never forget what happened. I just can't, and I'm not going to. But
I've done that as well. It's rare that I give second chances though, because it's because normally, like I said, I get to a point. Once you break that point,
and
that's it.
And that's and that's fine. That's the way. Like we're different human beings. Everybody's a different human being. That's the way. Sure. That's the way people handle some things sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with being your own individual. And speaking of individual, we got some individual tiers here. So we want to go over the tiers before we jettison, so people know what to back. So you're going to have to help me out here, Vinny, because my eyes are garbage. Do you know your tiers by chance?
Yeah.
Okay,
so we have the main book. That's $30 signed. Again, nice. 64 pages. But again, if we hit stretch goals, if we're able to do it by some miracle before we get in demand, because when we get in demand, I'm going to remove those stretch goals. But
that makes sense.
Should we do it? Should we hit it? Then it'll be even more pages, and you guys already paid this one price. So that's what I like about that. But then I have the option for volume 1, 2, and 3 together. This is the only place to get it now is on this campaign, and it's numbered. I think we have about 19 left. And then that's it. Cause I'm not going back to print on 1 and 2. They're they're substantial. They're 52 pages each. I mean, we're talking hundreds of pages of artwork there.
I got them.
Yeah. And 1 and 2 are, it's full color illustration, front cover to back cover on those. Then I have original artwork, and whatever original artwork you end up buying, they're one of a kinds. They're done on the sketch covers, the blank covers.
Do people get to pick?
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's like
it's like a first come first serve type thing. You'll send
first come first serve because it's one of a kind. So it's like if that you want that man back, jump on it before someone else does. Right. But you will get an art book, a signed art book with that as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's important to me. If you get original art, you should always have the book with it. It should just they're paying a big price point. You might as well throw a book,
Yeah. And again, original artwork to me is extra special too, because I mean you have some of my originals, which is incredible.
They're nice.
And that's what I mean. And I like to go a little over the top too with the line work on them. Because anyone who's backed my other projects, especially City of Venus, I think I did I think close to 50 different head sketches. But it wasn't just head sketches.
Wow.
I put it there, but it was like bust up, some background.
You tend to go overboard on accident because you get into it.
Well, not even an accident. It's just like if people, they want to pay that. I'll give them some extra special. So,
okay, so you do have them separated, like She-Hulk, and I got my little magnifier out to look at like what.
We have Black Panther, a Superman.
Yeah, so you got a lot of nice original art here, going for a really, really good price point. By the way, everybody pick them up. Oh, sold out.
Yeah,
can't pick those up, everybody.
Yeah, I got a couple of those that sold out. Yeah, and that Raphael was actually that was one of the ones I drew on the Franga stream.
Oh, dude,
cool.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so
nice,
they're pretty cool. They're fun. And that was, I think, only the second time I've ever drawn the turtles.
Really? I love drawing the turtles, man. They're so much fun.
They're fun. I mean, as an adult, as a kid, I drew them, but like as an adult.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I could show you one that may be in the book. It's in the book.
Show it.
Hold on a sec. Let me open up the file. This was
really cool. Link is pinned to the top of the chat, everybody, as well as in the description below. Plus, Vinny's link tree. You can get Shadow of the Kraken, City of Venus, this art book. So everybody go down there, check it out, click the link, share out this content. By the way, hit like and subscribe if you have yet to be. Oh, we're going to add something here. Add that to screen. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So this is
I love that.
Yeah, this thing was beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was so much fun to do, and it was originally drawn. I think for it might have been for one of the other art streams. Something I did kind of quick, and then like I redrew it and then inked this guy all up.
Nice.
Recently, it's digital inks, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. And
it looks dope, man.
Dude, I had a blast working on this one.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, this thing.
But the pencils, are the pencils for this then available?
No. I think they had purchased that.
Okay.
I still had the file because I scanned in my.
Yeah, but
that's. I mean, someone already owns it. Otherwise, it would have been up. It would have been on the campaign.
Yeah, I like the sword break and the break of the thing and the outside. I like panel, so to speak. It's a panel breaks, and I like stuff like that. Very subtle, very nice. I like it. Nice job, man.
Too.
Very cool.
And it kind of it's the weight of the page as well. And again, it comes down to like the storytelling aspects of things. Even if it's like a still image or like, or pinup rather, or a cover. You want to tell a story with all that. And that's where a lot of like my background came from. And I got a lot of that from like Frank Frazetta, because he was doing those covers to like Conan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have to sell a novel with one image. So how are you going to do that? You have to be able to tell a story properly. Drew Struzan with the movie posters, same deal. Like that's another one of my kind of influences.
Nice.
And John Buscema. Dude, that guy was the king. Major influence on my work as well.
Nice. That's a dope piece, man.
Very cool.
So everybody get in there. Everybody, like I said, link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go get this art book. You can last chance you'll have to get all 3 art books. So back that tier, because I have the other 2. They're amazing. Vinny produces really high quality work. Spare no expense.
Oh yeah.
So Angela, are there any extra questions in the chat? Do you have any questions for Vinny we may not have asked?
Don't see any here. I just was curious though. I noticed that the mods have been dropping links in the chat. So thanks so much,
sweet
guys. But also they were dropping links for your other 2 books, The Shadow of the Kraken and Through the Woods, which are both on IGG. Just those are still. How long are these going to be still available? Because they're both in demand.
They're in demand. They've been out there for a while. Same with City of Venus. Like the City of Venus, the first one, this one, I will be taking it down when I launch the second campaign.
Make it bigger. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not really because of the glare.
Yeah, it happens.
But anyway, I mean,
I get the gist.
You get the campaigns that are there. I mean, again, I have just a slew of different work. Tons of different books here that are available for anyone and everyone, and this isn't even all of them. So like I said, it's even with the 7 campaigns, there's way more books than that because like I put the art books where like I had launched them with like City of Venus at the time as well, and I'm trying to make things more available for people, but the only place to get the art books now are on this campaign when you see behind me.
So pick it up. Everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're limited.
Sure.
They're limited. But yeah, the Pirate Story is awesome. If you guys haven't seen it, I suggest jumping on that too because yeah, that was one I was super proud of. 52 pages.
Like honestly, I mean, because of the eyeballs, I haven't read it, but I looked through I could admire the pretty pictures and great job, man.
Thank you, man.
It's really good. I really enjoy it. So
yeah,
it's stacked away in one of those boxes right now.
Yeah,
but.
There's some crazy stuff. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that I did in that book
Yeah, it's
too.
nice.
And the opening page is it's brutal. You know,
it's a good book. It's a good book. Everybody go pick that up. And I got one last question. You've worked with a lot of people throughout the years, but if you could work with anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Shit, Buscema would definitely be one. That's for sure. I would love to do something with him. Yeah. I think Greg Capullo. I mean, I knew Greg from the convention scene as well. And we had an awesome weekend. Him, his wife, and my brother, like we were hanging out the whole time, telling stories. We had some of her birthday cake too. He gave it. He left us half the cake.
Nice.
It was hilarious. But yeah, good people. But I would love to do something with him for sure.
That would be dope. Yeah.
Because of COVID, like we in the convention scene, we kind of drifted a little bit, but. I still write him from time to time, and he gives me like thumbs up on shit.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I can't see him eating too much sugar with his workout ethic. So.
Oh yeah, no.
He's the reason why I gave you the cake.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Him and his wife, like, they go to like the big food festivals, like once or twice a year or whatever, and he'd indulge.
Well, dude, he could burn it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that man's a monster. Forget about it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And he likes metal, too. So, I love Capullo, man. He's a solid cat and an amazing artist.
He's not a huge guy. Like he's he's a little on the short side, but the guy is jacked. He's a powerhouse.
Dude. Yeah.
Powerhouse artist and a powerhouse.
Him and Graham Nolan should probably should work out together or something.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
I saw Greg threaten someone at the show, too.
Oh, no. We'll go into that another time.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah, it was somebody was doing something naughty, and he's like, "I know what you're doing." Like he signed a couple of them. He goes, "I know what you're doing," and then he goes, "If this was me when I was in my 20s, your face would have been pummeled already."
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get on his bad side in person. You know what I mean?
But, he's a good dude. He is a good dude.
Vinny, thank you so much for coming on, man. This was a blast. I had a good time.
Me too, man.
Hope you did too, Angela, as well. And the chat.
Yeah.
Hail the chat. Thank you so
Very
much. Hail to the mods for dropping the links and everybody for commenting and asking questions and watching, liking, and subscribing. I appreciate everybody out there. I couldn't grow this channel without you. So thank you very much. And go back Vinny's art book and all of his other amazing campaigns. I know times are tough, but get a good Christmas gift for yourself.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. You deserve it.
Thank you once again, everybody, and have a great one.